Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
We've got another fun undrafted free agent, and this is the space, right? Where these back-end bubble roster players that probably should have been drafted late, but they're better fits with the 49ers than they might be athletes or prospects. And that's where we get undrafted free agent running back Cody Schrader out of Mizzou. Fun player, didn't test well. You look across, just how he showed up at the combine. 5'8", 202. He's small. Got a little bit of size to him, but definitely those are bottom 30 percentile for NFL running backs. 28-inch arms, very small. He's 24 years old, which is the second youngest running back for the 49ers. Isaac Guerendo is 23. Ran a 4.61, not fast. 7.3 3-cone. That's terrible. 33-inch vertical. It's below average. 20 bench press reps, below average. In fact, there's only one metric that Cody Schrader graded out above the 40% line, and that was 10-yard split. He ran a 1.55, which puts him in the 62 percentile. It's the only one that graded above 40 for NFL running backs, and that's the 10-year. So the short area burst, the same thing with Brock Purdy, right? Small, undersized, no metrics, but that one area, just quick burst, 10-yard split. 49ers, they care a lot about that. Now, as we get into Cody Schrader's story, it's a fun one. From walk-on, he went to Truman, then walked on to Missouri, and then a year later was the SEC rushing championship. Walk-on, earned a scholarship, SEC rushing championship in back-to-back years. Unbelievable what this kid has accomplished, and now he's got another, whatever you want to call it. Monkey's got to get off his back. He's got another chip on his shoulder because he didn't even get drafted. I thought he should have. I had a 6-round grade on him. He goes undrafted free agent. A lot of it is the metrics. The film's decent. Film's good. But got to give credit to Josh, Zach, Dave. Oscar, everybody that helped out with this series. Cody comes in at 63. His highest rank out of the 4 ballots we did 1 through 91. 59 was his highest. 69, nice, was his lowest. Came in at 63, the average. Obviously, it's his first year. Now, you plug in all of his measurements from the combine and testing. Listen to these players over on mockdraftable.com that he has in common with. He's a 77 percentile match with Ronnie Rivers. He's a 76 percentile match with Kyron Williams. Yeah, he's a Rams type running back. Jalen Warren, 73%. Blake Corum, 71%. So all these smaller, tougher, better football players than athletes type guys, and that's where he fits. Grew up in Lutheran South High School, St. Louis, Missouri, born and raised. Eventually went to Truman for 4 years before he walked on at Missouri and was there for 2 years. In his high school, unbelievable production in St. Louis. Rushed for over 6,700 yards, 99 touchdowns in high school. Had 53 receptions, 650-plus yards, 5 touchdowns. Had 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns and 1 punt return for a touchdown. Now, I'm not sure returner's going to be in his arsenal. They might try him back there, but a 4.6 speed guy, I'm not sure that translates. I doubt that's going to happen. And he even played on the defensive side, and the toughness translates in his tape. 481 total tackles, 14 sacks, 5 fumble recoveries, and 1 interception. 4.0 GPA, graduated high school all throughout. Smart, intelligent, hard worker, does it all. A lot of honors, two-time All-State. He was all over the place. And so for Missouri, their high school football is decent. I don't put it up there with a lot of the South, but I've witnessed firsthand. I did grad school in Kansas City, Missouri, and so I was able to make it to a couple high school games. And yeah, it's all right. It's not terrible, but that's a big reason why he went under the radar. There's not a whole lot of St. Louis prospects that are going to get these 5 stars. Sometimes it happens, but whenever you're 5'8" and undersized and not fast at a running back, not going to happen. But don't let that stop him. You look at the awards he was able to tally up. He was the 2023 Burlsworth Trophy winner, Doak Walker Award finalist, first team All-American, second team All-American Walter Camp, first team All-American, first team All-SEC. team captain 2023. I mean, this guy, he's got a lot. And if you want to learn more about his personality, there's a really cool interview with him on YouTube. It's under Party Chat. If you just type in Party Chat and Cody Schrader, you can kind of get to know his personality a little more, but it was a lot of fun watching that. Now, you look at his kind of PFF grades, they're all over the place, but they're really good. 83.3 overall, 54 passing, 52 pass blocking, not his thing, 89.2 rushing. He is a running back or a receiving running back. That's why he's in the NFL. That's why the 49ers picked him up. Now, goes undrafted, had a lot of production at Truman, over 3,000 yards, 39 touchdowns at Truman, walks on at Mizzou, and has just been fun. Now, the great Bobby Turner, the 49ers running back coach, was asked about Schrader and kind of what stood out.
When I say it's the 49er way, he's a part of that. Cody, we signed him as a free agent. He possesses those same traits. He's accountable, thorough. He's got that love for the game.
And so, like, the love of the game translates. Yeah, every time I watch a game on him, high energy, emotional back, where he's just leaving it all out there all the time. Just aggressive attitude, heart, whatever thing you want to give to it, that's there. Now, we've got a full breakdown up of Cody Schrader's All 22 tape over on the 49ersrush.com and our Patreon channel. If you want to go check that out, that's uploaded already. Fun tape. He will be 25 years old as a rookie. That's part of it. And this is the new draft experience post-COVID, because these guys, he's played 6 years already. 4 at Truman, 2 at Mizzou. He's an old, experienced zone runner. This is the film breakdown aspect. Third most NCAA attempts at zone rush attempts, 184 last year. They ran a zone system. It's just what it was. He already has 925 career carries. So, if you're talking about like tread on the tires, the 49ers go get Isaac Guerendo. They trade up for him. He is height, weight, speed guy with not a lot of touches. In the undrafted free agent, you get a much better football player, but not as fast, not as big, and way more wear and tear on his body. So, like, you kind of got the best of both angles with this draft class, and they've done this before. You trade up for Trey Sermon, right? And you get Elijah Mitchell late. Well, who was better? The better football player, right? Elijah Mitchell was better. Then TDP, and then you get Jordan Mason later. Well, who was the better football player? Jordan Mason was. You could even do the same thing with Matt Breida and Joe Williams. Like, this is a Shanahan staple. You get these two running backs, and almost every single time, the latter running back has outperformed the prized trade-up for running back. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case this time, but it's 3 for 3 so far. And so we'll see. It's there. Now, I do think Cody Schrader's got really good hands, even though they didn't use him much. Just last year for Missouri, he had 21 receptions on 25 targets. It's a pretty good rate, only 4 incompletions. But the testing constantly, when you're watching the tape and you're like, ooh, that's good, that's good, that's good. And you're like, yeah, he's got speed, but it's not great speed. He's got size, not great size. Cutting ability, agility, it's not great. And so the testing is just constantly putting a damper on your evaluation when you watch the film. The film is good. Now, it says slightly above average. You don't watch a play and you're like, wow, this dude is a freak athlete, or any of those things. No. That's not what it is. He's just tough as hell, and I think he's already kind of reached his potential. He's probably already topped out. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, he led the SEC in running. He's a productive runner, an efficient runner that's going to get the job done. And like every Shanahan running back that he goes and gets, they have that huge production game. Remember the Joe Williams UCLA game? TDP had his. Trey Sermon had his in the bowl game. The same thing with Cody Schrader. He had 321 yards versus Tennessee, 217 yards versus Arkansas. And probably my favorite thing about him is he plays his best against the best opponents. Against top SEC defense, that's whenever he showed up the most. And so I like that. It's not like he got his production against, the SEC tee-up teams that they put out there. And so I really do like this guy. Like I said, I had a 6th-round grade on him. Dane Brugler of The Athletic had a 5th-round grade on him, and he was their 14th number running back. I had an 8 out of 10 grade as far as 49ers fit goes, because, again, this was one of the ones that we did pre-draft. He was one of our 200 or so that we did, because I thought he was a fit. I really, really did, and I think he proved that. The lack of testing, that's what bumped him out of the draft. Now, the Niners signed him to a 3-year deal, $2.8 million, and he got $232,000 guaranteed. That's second most of all the undrafted free agents. Only Evan Anderson got more. And so it's almost like he is guaranteed, worst case scenario, to be a part of our practice squad, which gets about $240,000. So it's like the 49ers paid up front his practice squad year, and I think that's where he's going to be. Because whenever you look at this roster, 49ers keep 4 to 5 running backs, and almost all of those are locks already. CMC, lock. Kyle Juszczyk, lock. Elijah Mitchell, that's a lock. He's a free player, doesn't cost anything. Jordan Mason, they're not going to cut him. And then Isaac Guerendo. So that's your 5 right there. Then you look behind them, you got Cody Schrader and Patrick Taylor, who we've already done. Seems like Cody Schrader will either be on the practice squad for the 49ers or will be on another team. That's just the financial compensation through the guaranteed contract as an undrafted free agent guarantees Schrader will at least be on our practice squad. Now, every team's already passed over him 7 times. If he puts out some great tape during training camp or during, the preseason, another team could snag him from us. Now, if one of our 5 guys gets injured during training camp or preseason, does that elevate Cody Schrader? I don't think so. If you can put an injured running back on the PUP, probably you can't put him on the PUP because they have to start on IR to return. I still think Cody Schrader's going to be that practice squad guy. But if he does sit, Elijah Mitchell, this is last year under contract. So then he'll be in competition for J.P. Mason, right? Or Isaac, Guerendo. But I think if I'm talking to Cody Schrader and I'm his agent, I'm like, dude, look at Jordan Mason. That is the role. That is the path we want you to be in. Wait a year. Elijah Mitchell's going to leave. You step up into that spot. You're one of those guys fighting for carries. Now, it's not a lot of carries, but if you're a running back, guess what? Cody Schrader landed the best possible place that he could land in the entire NFL, and that's with the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan. So, barring some injuries, I think the floor is 49ers practice squad. That's worst case for Cody Schrader. Unless an injury happens, God forbid, as always. But I like this kid. Better football player than athlete. Better tape than testing. But he's somebody that will get the job done, especially in this scheme. I'm excited. I hope he's part of the 49ers for a long time because I think he has a lot to offer, especially at heart, chip on the shoulder, passion, attitude. That fits our culture. It really, really does. So, Cody Schrader, I'm excited to see you at camp. Excited to see what you can do. And, if you're trying to watch during the preseason and see, how he's doing. He's jersey number 38 this year. So, we'll see how he does. He got the old Demo jersey. So, Cody Schrader, go out and impress us. And hopefully next year he'll be higher on this list than number 63.